Let's be honest, artificial intelligence is everywhere. It's in our phones, it's driving our cars, it's even in our homes. But now, it's starting to show up in one of the most sacredly human places imaginable, the courtroom. So today, we're going to dive into AI's growing role in our justice systems and ask a pretty massive question. Should we ever let a machine decide what's right and what's wrong?
You know, for pretty much all of history, we've worked on the idea that justice needs a human touch. It's not just about cold, hard facts, right? It's about understanding context, weighing evidence with a bit of wisdom, maybe even showing some empathy. Our entire legal system is built on that very foundation.
And here's the twist. This is the question that's changing everything. What if an algorithm could actually do all of that better than a person? Process evidence way faster, more consistently, and maybe even more accurately. And this isn't some sci-fi movie plot. This is a real debate that's happening right now in governments and courtrooms all over the world. So let's start by looking at the argument for bringing AI to the bench. I mean, the supporters of this idea, they see a full-on revolution in justice, one that they think could fix some of the biggest, oldest problems that have been plaguing our courts for, well, forever.
Let's break down what they're so excited about. First, an AI judge could work 24/7. Imagine that. It could just chew through those massive case backlogs that delay justice for years. It could also automate a huge chunk. We're talking up to 22% of what lawyers do now, which would free them up for the really complex stuff. But here's the big one. Since an AI doesn't have emotions or personal beliefs, the hope is that it can make decisions based purely on data and the law, without all the hidden biases that can sneak into even the most careful human judges' thinking.
And look, don't think for a second this is just a theoretical debate. This is really happening. As of 2024, more than 40 countries have already put some kind of algorithmic tool into their judicial systems. The tech is moving way, way faster than the rules to actually govern it.
But of course, there's a flip side to this coin. For every promise of a perfectly fair legal system, there's a warning about a pretty bleak future where our fates are decided by unfeeling, unaccountable machines.
Okay, so the biggest issue for critics is something they call the black box problem, and it's exactly what it sounds like. A lot of these advanced AIs are so complicated that even the people who designed them can't fully explain how they reached a specific conclusion. Data goes in, a decision comes out, but the process in the middle, it's basically a mystery. So how can you trust a verdict when you can't even understand the reasoning behind it?
This quote absolutely nails it. I mean, think about it. If a human judge can't understand why the AI is suggesting something, are they really judging anymore? Or are they just becoming a rubber stamp for a machine? At that point, they've basically given up their most important job.
And the risks here are, well, they're huge. If an AI messes up, who's to blame? The programmer? The government that bought it? There's this massive accountability gap. Even worse, if you train an AI on historical court data that's already biased, the AI won't fix the bias. It'll learn it and then amplify it, creating this terrible feedback loop. And without any real understanding of human things like remorse or mercy, these black box decisions could just completely destroy public trust in the whole legal system.
Okay, so let's move out of the theory and into the real world. What actually happens when these systems are put to use? We've already got some case studies, and they show both the potential and the very real dangers we've just been talking about.
These two examples are so telling. In the US, the Compass tool was a perfect example of an algorithm basically soaking up human biases from the data and then spitting them back out as unfair predictions. But then you have the Robodebt scandal in Australia, which showed a totally different kind of problem. The AI actually worked perfectly. The problem was that it was programmed to enforce a human policy that was completely unlawful. So both cases really show that the danger isn't just a rogue AI, it's also about how we humans decide to build and use it. So where does all of this leave us? Is AI the future of justice, or is it a major threat to it? Well, the experts are starting to come to a consensus, and it seems like the answer isn't a simple yes or no. It looks like the most realistic path forward is some kind of partnership. The overwhelming opinion right now is that AI should be a seriously powerful assistant, but not the final decision maker. Let it analyze documents, find precedents, process huge amounts of data to inform a human judge. But that final nuanced judgment, the verdict, that has to stay a human responsibility. And to make that work, we're going to need really strict guidelines, and we have to demand transparency. It seems like the future of justice really depends on our ability to strike this incredibly delicate balance between human wisdom and machine intelligence. And that brings us right back to where we started, to that ultimate question.
We can build machines that are faster than us, maybe even more logical than us. But can we, and maybe more importantly, should we, ever let them make the final call on something as fundamental as what is right and what is wrong? That's a question